guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Confused Americans in Europe. Well, I think it can be a quite confusing content if you're from the US, just because a lot of things are different. So I couldn't blame them, right? But I don't know, let's check it out and comment, like and subscribe.
Anyway, so we're going around the islands on that tour, you know, the tour, and we missed the cruise by 5 minutes. Oh, there you are. Hey, you guys got any espresso martinis?
Since I'm American and live in Norway, people ask me all the time if there's anything that I don't like about living in Europe. Generally, I love living in Europe for so many reasons, but there is one thing I don't like. The one thing I don't like is ice.
What's up with that?
Or the lack of ice that I find in Europe. If you've been following me, then you know I don't have a freezer. My fridge doesn't have a freezer. I'm gonna show you it, but it's the first time in my life that I have ever had a fridge that did not have a freezer.
I do think that's a little strange. I would be, you know, for a normal freezer needs to have a fridge, right?
So my ice cube trays, worthless.
That's kind of crazy.
And I've been to 40 countries now. I've traveled all over Europe. And I remember when I very first came to Europe.
No ice.
I think I was in Poland, and I ordered a drink, just like a soda or whatever. And I said, hey, can you bring me a glass with some ice? The dude brought me a glass with 2 ice cubes. 2 ice cubes? What am I gonna do with 2
Well, you needed to be more specific.
ice cubes? And he talking about, oh, is that enough? Yeah, it's enough to piss me off. Where's the rest of the ice? Fill the glass up with ice, and then I pour in the drink. That's how that works.
Wow.
Yo, for real, I was like, yo, is there like an ice ration? Do we have to ration ice? Is there not enough water? I mean, give me the ice. I want the ice. And this was a common occurrence. I mean, Czech Republic, Hungary, Lithuania. I was on the lookout, and I was like, okay, hold on. Every time I get something, it's got 1 ice cube, 2 ice cubes, or they don't come with ice at all. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, there's nothing I want more when I'm hot and thirsty than a lukewarm cola. Are you kidding me? I never realized how truly blessed I am
To have ice.
to have ice when I want to have ice, because when you don't have ice, it's crazy. Please tell me, am I just being like a pompous American? Because, I get to my apartment I'm in now, and then no freezer, right? Then I went to Haugesund, and I was just over someone's house, and I was like, oh man, can I get a glass of ice? Now they did have a fridge with a proper freezer. They had a proper setup there.
Normal.
And they were like, oh, no, I don't have any ice. You have a freezer and you don't have ice? And I have to move out of this apartment next week, and the apartment I'm moving into
has a
you
fridge?
guessed it, no freezer.
I
just want my drinks to be cold. I mean, am I asking too much, Europe?
Yes,
Europe,
it's too much.
am I asking too much? And of course you can buy ice at the store, but today is Sunday and all the grocery stores are closed.
It's closed.
And then the ones that are open, like the Boon Priest up the street from my house here, it has like a little kiosk type store that's open, and they don't sell ice there. So
I think he has a great point. That, to be fair, some people don't like their ice. It's normal. Maybe you don't have ice in your fridge because you're not the type of person that uses uses a lot of ice, basically. However, I'll say that the idea of having like a cold drink with a lot of ice, I think that's just a very American thing, I have to say. I have
to buy the warm cola, put it in my fridge for whoever knows how long.
It's not warm,
and when
it's in
I
the
do
fridge.
buy ice, look at that.
Like a peasant.
It melts because it's not in the freezer. I just want my drinks to be cold. Okay, rant over.
No, I get it.
I need to buy a freezer.
Yes, you need to buy it separately.
Oh my God.
Why is trying to order coffee in Europe the hardest thing ever as an American?
Why is it hard?
I was in London and Spain, and when I was in London, I was like, can I have a coffee with cream, no sugar? And the barista was not getting it. He was like, I'm sorry, I don't understand. I was like, like a regular coffee just with cream. We went back and forth trying to figure it out. And she was like, a drip coffee. And I was like, yes, exactly, a drip coffee. And I step aside and I watch her make it, and she's doing everything right. Pouring myself a regular drip coffee. And I watch.
Well, but when you mean coffee, you mean like, do you want a cappuccino? Do you want an Americano, an espresso? What is it you want?
Her try to put the cream on. And I was like, what the hell is she grabbing? This lady literally grabs a bottle of whipped cream. And I have a coffee with cream, no sugar. She starts to poop.
Because cream, yes, it's sort of whipped cream, right? Cream, what's cream? Or is it a creamer? That's different, right?
Whipped cream in my drink. I literally screamed, no, 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 no. She was like, what? You said cream. And I was like, no, I meant milk. I'm so sorry. I'm American. Like, when you say cream, that means like milk, blah, blah, blah.
Correct.
We both started bursting out laughing. Anyway, that was one example. Then,
But that's on you, though, because you know that you have to refer to things as with their given name in the place you are. So I'm sorry, but the barista, she was right. She was, what, you asked for cream? What am I going to give you? Whipped cream, because you didn't ask for creamer, you didn't ask for milk. You just said cream.
and
So
when I'm
whipped
flying back
cream.
from Portugal, sitting in first class, and I asked the flight attendant, hey, may I have a coffee? And she was like, yeah, sure. Do you want a shot of espresso or do you want coffee in a bowl? I was like, I'm sorry, in a bowl. And she was like, yeah, you're American. You guys drink coffee in a bowl, right?
No,
And I
wait,
was
wait.
like, no.
I do not understand. What do you mean coffee in a bowl? What? Like a bowl? What? A coffee? What?
No, girl, no American I know drinks coffee in a bowl. I told her how to make a regular coffee with milk. I ended up getting it and it was good. But like those are just two examples of how difficult it is to like order coffee in Europe. But it
The milk one, I'm gonna get it. I'm sorry, you were in the wrong there. The girl, the barista, was right. This flight attendant, though, coffee in a bowl, I'm sorry, that's strange. I wonder what on earth she meant. She obviously has to be referring to something specific, but I have no idea what it could be.
was like pulling teeth every single time I said that I wanted a coffee in London, Spain, and
Dude, because you have to be
I had a very,
specific.
very lovely time, but I'm so happy to be back in the States where I can get a big ass cup of iced coffee, literally the size.
Wow, this is the most American thing ever to me. Oh my god, I'm so excited to be back in the US where I don't have to order weird coffees. That's so strange. That's a very American thing. 20 things in Europe that trigger Americans. Paying for water. I never really understood this. Eating pizza with a fork and a knife. Well, oh, because of course you eat it with your hands. Wait, what? Depends on the person, right? Depends on the pizza. Some pizza you need fork and a knife. Again, sometimes. Depends on the pizza. If you're fancy, if you're eating fancy pizza. Water bottle caps that are stuck on. Oh, because you don't want, you don't want them to. I don't really understand why is this annoying. It's again, you just, I don't know. You to make it so that the cap doesn't get loose and you don't throw it out. I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. I don't understand why this is troublesome. I don't get it. No ice. Yes, we know. Not refrigerating eggs. Yes, because they don't. This is only, again, just because they don't have the same, you don't have to wash them because they're not, you don't refrigerate them because they don't need to be washed because, yes, they have a protective layer and yes, they're dirty, but that's what makes it, I don't know, good for you and bacteria and whatever. I mean, that's weird, I guess, if you don't really know, if you don't understand why, but once you know, you understand why they refrigerate them in the US and why they don't in Europe, but it's kind of, well, it's probably at first it's a culture shock, but then it's normal, I would assume. Drinking alcohol with most meals. Oh, well, most meals. Maybe lunch for a beer or, I don't know, a glass of wine with dinner. That's okay, but it's not as if you're having wine for breakfast, so... Drinking alcohol, and it also depends on the person. Warm beer, okay, please. I don't know. I've never heard of warm beer. What Europeans drink warm beer? Where? What? No elevators. Well, yes, you have to walk, like in the dryer. Those two things related. It's because they're old houses, and electricity is also super expensive. So again, you understand why. You understand the logic. The customer is not always right mentality. That's a huge culture shock. I think if you're American, it's always the customer's always right. Of course, it's a huge culture shock if you go to Europe and it's no, you're not right, and they treat you very poorly. It's what are you doing? What is this place? So I kind of only being able to get fresh produce that's in season. Well, that's a good thing. That's great, actually. It's not bad. Cafes not having to go coffee. Is this a thing? I wonder if that's actually a thing. Have you ever gone to a place and they don't have go-to coffee? Well, I guess some of them. I mean, if this is a special coffee shop, maybe they don't have this. But I guess, I don't know. It's just weird to me at this time in history that you go to a place to have coffee and they don't have to go. I think that's just a little weird, right? I would assume that's strange. Unless it's something very specific about this very special coffee shop. Smoking everywhere. Yeah, it's banned in the US. So it's weird in Europe. Again, I don't know why they keep smoking. Big open windows with no safety features. Wait, no safety features? What do you mean the safety features? What are the safety features? I'm confused. I'm very skipper that because I have no idea what they mean with the safety features. Not using paper napkins. What do you mean? Are they're talking us? They don't give you paper napkins? What? They don't? Did you? Well, because you're at a restaurant. I said the restaurant. Yeah, of course they're not going to give you this. But if you go to a fast food restaurant, you're going to have napkins. What? They don't make you sort of. Oh, your hands are dirty. Well, deal with it. What? Simple menus. Yes, exactly. This is a coffee. A piccolo. I don't know what's a piccolo. A cappuccino, a mocha, americano, filtered tea. Yeah, exactly. You have to ask for what you want. Okay. Oh, it's done. Yeah, this was great. I have thoughts. Ultimately, I think it just depends on. I don't know. I guess it just depends on a lot of things, like so many things in life. But the coffee one, I think is just very funny to me because that one can feel very, again, coming from, let's say, a European perspective. This rant about the coffee, it was just the specific thing I would guess that she's, a European would watch this and say, this is, what we're talking about when we say, oh, entitled Americans just come here. They come here. They expect everything to cater to them. I'm sorry to this girl, but I think that's what most Europeans would think because she's sort of assuming that they have to cater to her. And she's, oh my God, how come people in Europe don't know what coffee? It's coffee. Coffee is just, I don't know, a drink that comes from a bean. You can prepare in so many ways that yes, you need to be specific. What exactly do you want me to make? So in her case, I think it's really funny because, oh my God, she's the epitome of what Europeans talk about when they talk about entitled. Americans just going, oh, but what do you know? And then she goes back home and says, oh my God, Europeans don't know what coffee is. But it's just because there's a trouble. Even though she was in London, it's the same language. There's something that's a little bit lost in translation there, even though it's the same language. It's a cultural thing. Just because, again, you have to ask exactly what you want. You can just go, oh, it's an iced coffee. And yes, of course, with an iced coffee, I mean, they kind of understand, and still, with 2 pumps of whatever, and the cream. I think the cream one is the one that's most confusing because, of course, if you say cream, people are going to be assuming you mean whipped cream, you mean creamer. What exactly are you referring to? And even then, is it creamer that popular in Europe? I'm pretty sure it's the creamer. As in the sludge that exists in the US. I don't think that's that popular in Europe, I have to say. As in the Coffee Mate, or what are the other, Nescafe has ones as well. That sort of thing where the Dunkin' Donuts one, that there's just a bunch of, it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's not a syrup, but it's just, oh, this flavored creamer, the Irish creamer, or whatever. There's just so many flavors. I don't think they have that in Europe. Maybe they do have them, but I don't think they're that popular. So maybe it's going to be a little strange even to ask for creamer then because it's going to be, what exactly do you mean? Do you want whipped cream? You're telling me I'll make it for you, but what? So this is really funny, and it's really hilarious to me that she didn't really got it the first time, and then she kept saying, "Oh, can I get a coffee, an iced coffee?" And but what do you want exactly? Do you want a cappuccino? Do you want a mochaccino? What is it that you want? And she's, oh my God, I'm so happy to be in the US where coffee is not weird. No, they make it a little bit simpler, I guess, but you have to be very, very specific. And of course, I'm not going to go, and I'm going to, personally, I'm not going to fight, when it comes to things like coffee, for instance, with Italians. It's okay, sure, whatever you say. I'm not gonna fight over coffee with an Italian. So because again, they should know. So I don't know. It's not a bastardized version of that iced coffee is probably they're not really into that just because they probably think, what is this? No, that's not real coffee. As for the ice thing, I think I understand this man actually. Because I know this is what Americans make fun of, and they go to Europe and say ice is illegal. There's no ice. I've never really understood it, but I don't know why. I mean, a fridge without a freezer, that's weird, right? He mentioned he was in Norway. I can't remember the country he was living in, but he mentioned it happened in a lot of places. And okay, yeah, I understand they're not gonna outright give it to you unless you ask for it. But what is it? Where exactly do you live that the fridge doesn't have a freezer? That's strange. I do consider that to be really weird. I would assume that if a fridge needs to have a freezer, that's normal. I wouldn't be out of the line to expect for a fridge to come with a freezer, right? I'm not weird. I think I'm with him. So no, we're in solidarity here. I'm not. I don't think. I don't think this is strange. However, it is really funny the whole thing about, oh, you know, you ask for ice and you have to ask for ice and they give you 2 cubes and it's what am I going to do with it? It's really funny because again, it's one of those things that you actually never thought about. But now he mentions this. I absolutely agree. I think this is a very American thing. The concept of having like a nice cold drink with a lot of ice, for some reason, that's just the most American thing in the world. I don't know why, right? Because is it the ice? I don't know. It's because ice is not scarce. It's just a cultural thing. I don't think Europeans really like sort of, you know, because you can have it cold, but not with that much ice. And it's actually the opposite because I think it just dilutes the drink because the ice is going to melt and it's going to dilute your drink. So I don't know. Maybe this is not a right or wrong way to do it. It's just different. But again, it's kind of funny because, oh my God, now he's mentioning this. I actually realized, I actually believe the whole ice thing is just a very American thing for some reason. And as for the things that trigger Americans, there's just so many things, but I don't agree with most of them. It's, yeah, well, the cap is just stuck on the bottle. Like, who cares? The funniest thing about this list is the simple menus. I think it's because you can't really, I think Americans are used to being, the very detailed menus, and besides, you can't just sort of personalize it and be, hold the pickles and, but can you do, I don't know, dressing on the side's normal, but I don't know, can you do this on the side? And that really goes along with the customer thing with, I'm the customer, so I have sort of the right to be expected, everything's going to cater to me, and if I ask for something, I'm going to get it because I'm the customer. That's a very American thing, and it's really funny because, oh my God, those are the bad things that I think give your Americans a bad reputation in Europe, because again, you expect everything to cater to you, and not just to cater to you, but also the whole sort of, if I ask for, can you put the butter in whatever, and they're gonna be no, that's not really a thing. The dish is this, and that's it. You can't really go, but don't put tomatoes, or do not put onions, don't put cabbage. Is what? No, they do just like this. And if you don't, either you like it and you have it, or you just do not have it, period, and do not order this. So it's just really funny because that's going into entitled American path. So let's stay away from that. But that was it for today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.